So, Scream 7 is now out in theaters. It is one of my anticipated movies of 2026. It has been 30 years since the first film, and here we are now 30 years later on the seventh film. So, just released out this evening. I wanted to go ahead and watch the first showing, and I did. And you know what? I'm very happy. Not about just the movie, but about the fact that we had an audience. People wanted to go and see this. And about maybe 75% of the theater was packed. And I was very happy about that. There are many other showings throughout this evening of this movie being showed. And we live in a city not as big, but, not enough to have more than one theater, a theater building. But I love the fact that the theater was packed full of people. Because recently I go to a lot of movies at the theaters and there's hardly anybody ever there. It's either myself or another individual or even just less than 5 people there. But this one, if I'd have to guess, I'd say maybe about 40 to 50 people showed up. That was great. We need more audiences to go back to the theaters and watch movies the way that they are intended. So here we are. We're going to be talking about Scream 7. Right away, I'm going to go ahead and just talk about the film in a non-spoiler conversation. And it's going to be immediately. Why? Because there are things that I do want to talk about. And when I do talk about them, I am going to have the spoiler notification put on the top of this screen here. And once it's on, that's when the spoilers come in. So if you haven't seen Scream 7 yet and you are intending to go and watching it, once when this pops up, pause the video, go watch the movie whenever you have a chance to, and then come back here and become part of the spoiler discussion. But yes, here we go. Non-spoiler review. I have my computer here because there are some things that I don't really know off the top of my head, so I needed to aid me in some several information that I would love to talk about to you guys when it comes to Scream 7. So the director of this is directed by Kevin Williamson, and from what I've heard, he is actually the writer to the first Scream, the second Scream movie, and the fourth Scream movie. So him having to coming in and direct, he has good history when it comes to these movies. And so him having to coming in and be a part of this is a great addition. He didn't direct the previous two featuring Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega, but I loved the writing that he has done with those other films. And I think that when it comes to this movie itself alone, Scream 7, there are some points of the movie that I actually enjoyed very much. It was very entertaining. I loved the suspense. I loved the jump scares. I actually loved the horror elements that they had added into this. I love the ideas that they had that they came up with to put into this movie to make it entertaining, to make it another chapter within the Scream franchise. Let's sit a little bit more this way here. Okay. But yeah, Scream 7, we got the return of Sidney Prescott, which is now Sydney Evans, played by Neve Campbell. They really do explain a lot about her absence in Scream 6. It is a part of the movie. And now we're having her having a storyline involving her child named Tatum, which is, of course, Rose McGowan's character that got killed off in the first movie. I don't like this character. Oops, I pressed on the wrong button here. I don't really like this character per se. She is played by, where is it at? Isabel May. I could see some sort of resemblance that she is Sydney's daughter, but not completely. Not to say that she is playing not to say that she has more resemblances of her father, which of course they keep saying that Sydney's husband's name is Mark, and the only other character you can think of is, of course, Patrick Dempsey's character Mark in Scream 3. They didn't have really a love chemistry in that movie, but come to think of, maybe there's a possibility that these two actually ended up together. I would have loved it if it was Patrick Dempsey coming back, so that way we can have that whole legacy vibe of our characters coming back to reprise their role. But yeah, that wasn't the case. The husband, as a matter of fact, the dad to Tatum's character is actually played by, where is he at? Joel McHale. I didn't feel it. I didn't really feel the connection, the love connection between him and Sydney. I just didn't feel it. It wasn't really there. It's like they tried, but it just didn't feel like a connection. They didn't really feel like a family. It's really hard to find Sydney as a mother to a teenage daughter who is living these experiences at the same age as Sydney did when she was her age. But yeah, they try to do this whole passing of the torch thing, and in which, of course, we already did that with Melissa Barrera, and we already know the story of that, and of course, Jenny Ortega as well too. As a matter of fact, I heard that there was a what is it called? They had just not a riot, but they had a protest. That's the word I was looking for. They had a protest for Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega for not appearing into this movie because of what happened to them. Not appearing into this one, so it wasn't major. It was very minor from what I heard. But yeah, I think that if anything, there should have been a continuation. I'm not really for why they went ahead and went the direction they did what they did. Yes, the absence of Sydney in the last movie really did take a massive effect in that, even though we had the torch passed over to Samantha Carpenter. But we apparently everybody still wanted more Sydney. So here we go. We got Sydney back, and we're going forward with her story. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that I would love to talk about, but that'll be in the spoiler part here. There are several shocking, surprising, entertaining moments in this, and I really did enjoy it. No spoiler here, because as a matter of fact, the trailer itself, they released the final trailer a couple days ago before the release, and I didn't really watch it. I mean, just the first trailer itself alone, that was a couple of months ago, was enough for me. Why? Because they gave away too much. And as a matter of fact, that they did. It was pretty obvious how the movie was going to start. It was pretty obvious on how that situation was going to happen, or that situation what was going to happen. Was it still great? Absolutely. But having to know that it was approaching, and knowing that, oh, okay, wait, that person can't be dead, because I remember seeing this person appear later on in the trailer, so there has to be more of that character. So that's what happened. That's why I don't not like so much of these of these trailers giving away way too much. I know I saw recently called Backrooms, a teaser trailer for that one. That one, I love it. Those are trailers I love a lot, teaser trailers. They don't give away anything. They just give you a brief glimpse. There's this other one I liked also was Passenger. And it doesn't give you anything. Just a brief moment of several incidents, and boom, done. You don't know what's happening. But it's just there to just tell you, this is what we got. This is what we're showing you, and that's all we're going to give you for right now. I love those. But Scream 7 never really gave you a teaser. It just gave you this full-up miniature movie of what's to happen, and very much that's what happened. But yes, Courtney Cox comes back, and Mason Gooding comes back, and Jasmine Savoy Brown comes back as well too. They're not necessary. When they appear in the movie, oh yes, I cheered, I clapped. I was like, yeah, you're right, it's good to see them again and everything. But were they necessary at all to be in the movie? Absolutely not. I didn't like them in the movie. It just didn't feel like, what was the point? Other than the fact that, yes, you are characters from other Scream movies. Okay. Did we need them? No, I really don't think that we did. There's another character that was pretty obvious that was the killer. It's always that whole mystery of who done it in these Scream movies. And I'm always telling myself, oh, it's got to be that character. Oh, it's got to be that character. But one in particularly, I was just like, that's pretty obvious. You could just see by the eyes. You're just like, yeah, I can see this guy being psycho killer once he takes off the ghost face mask and explains his motive to Sydney. You know, I can honestly see it. But it is not a spoiler. I'm just like, it's gotta be. It's gotta be. McKenna Grace, she's turning into a big actress in the world of Hollywood. She's appearing in so much right now. Of course, we all know her as the little girl from Ghostbusters Afterlife and Frozen Empire. So it's great getting to seeing her, but she didn't really have a lot to do. She's practically a Sarah Michelle Gellar to Scream 2, just to throw that out there. Roger L. Jackson, which is of course the voice of Ghostface, is not really even used at all in this. When we see Ghostface, and there should be some kind of confrontation between him or her, having a one-on-one conversation with Sydney, he doesn't say a thing at all. You don't even have the voice changer attached to your throat like in Scream 5, where you just press the button and then boom, you're already Roger L. Jackson's Ghostface voice. And they don't even do that. He's just quiet, just nodding his head, shaking his head. I didn't like that. I'm just like, I want to hear Roger L. Jackson's voice here. I mean, we barely even get it. Why? There isn't a particular reason why, which I will talk more about in the spoilers. But like I said, they should have used more of his voice because it's what's iconic. It's part of what these movies are. But yes, I think that's about it when it comes to talking about Scream 7 in a non-spoiler conversation. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about what I felt. There's another character here. This one is pretty obvious that it's not really spoiling if I say she. She was obviously not the killer, but yet they kept pointing fingers saying, oh, she's got to be the killer. She's got to be the killer. And I was like, I don't see it. I really don't. And great to know that it wasn't her. Thank goodness. I will throw this out here. It's not a spoiler at all. I think that about 3/4 of the movie was excellent. I actually enjoyed 3/4 of the movie. But then when it came to the review, when they gave us the reveal and the motive, those are what destroyed the movie for me. Those are the ones, I mean, I had the same problem with Scream 6 and then Scream 5, but those were understandable. I completely understood and I accepted them. Excuse me. And I had to get more of an understanding as to why they were doing what they were doing. And so I accepted them, and it actually makes the movies a lot more better. This one, however, I paid attention. I was listening. Did it make any sense? Absolutely not. I didn't like it. Once the reveals, these are the only part that I hate about when it comes to Scream movies is that you have so much fun with Ghostface that once when the reveal is made and the masks come off, you're just like, that's it, the fun's over. It's like, it's fun to see Ghostface, it's like, I think that if anything they should do next is rather than making another Scream movie, they should just go ahead and do a Scream TV show. Just what Scream streaming services are doing nowadays. It's just you get more time. You really get, it's not for cash grabbing or anything like that. It's just like you have a story to tell. You want to have more fun with Ghostface because right now that's it for Ghostface. Once you see Scream 7, that's it. If you want more Ghostface, you're not going to get Ghostface for I don't know how many more years to come. Because it took what was it? Scream 6. It was the year my daughter was born back in 2023. So that's 3 years ago. So you're gonna have to wait another 3 years to have another Ghostface Scream movie to happen. But yeah. They really they needed just more time. I think that because they have so many characters that were put into this movie that it was very hard to have a character development for any of them, for you to care about any of them once they get killed or when when Ghostface is revealed. So, but yeah. And I know that on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it was at a 44%. I don't base my ratings off of what Rotten Tomatoes says. But for me, like I said, I loved it 3/4 of the film, but really the fourth quarter is what killed me. And if anything, I don't have to say that Scream 7 would have to be, man, I would have to say like a good, it's going to be in the 50s, I think, like 53, 54%. I'm going to go ahead and say I feel more comfortable in the 52%. I'm going to say 52%. Man, it's like I like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I love the ideas that they had for it. It's just that something they need to do when it comes to Scream is, if you really, once you do the reveal and the motive, those are what's important. And I mentioned this in my rankings for the Scream movies on my last video, and I mentioned how much I really enjoyed every single Scream movie, but if there was something that they needed to do differently in order to stretch the story, is to have a good cliffhanger. I was waiting for there to be a cliffhanger. There was no cliffhanger. There was no mid-credit. They had some sort of mid-credit scene, but it's nothing important. Nothing important feeding off, what's going to happen in the next movie. No, it's not Marvel. But, just something to say, hey, you know what? This is what's going to happen next. And they didn't do that. And anything, any little thing. There was something I was expecting to happen, but it didn't happen. But yeah, 51% I give Scream 7. What do you guys think? Have you watched the movie yet? I really hope so. If so, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section at the bottom. Let's have an awesome time talking about this movie or any movies that you like to talk about in general, because I love to talk about movies, but most importantly, I love to talk about them with you. Now, we are not finished just yet. Here we go. Spoiler discussion here, everybody. Let's talk about Scream 7 and what happened and what we thought. The spoiler sign is up here right now, you guys. It's up here. We're going to talk about it. Scream 7 spoiler discussion. All right. It's fairly clear that Matthew Lillard, Scott Foley, David Arquette, so many others were coming back. It's part of what they were trying to do with these legacy movies, bringing back characters from other films. But it was difficult trying to bring some certain characters back when they are already dead. How in the world are they still alive? It's fairly obvious. It's very obvious to say that, and everybody kept questioning it. Stu Macher is maybe not dead. He's probably still alive. And I'm like, no, that can't be. That can't be. But you know what? It's a Scream movie. It's a Scream movie. All these characters keep on getting stabbed, or getting shot. You're still alive. So the way Stu Macher dies in the first movie, he gets a TV thrown on the top of his head and gets, shot to death. Could he still be alive? In reality terms, you cannot be. But apparently when it comes to these movies, there's several hints to say that he's still alive. It's official once you see the ending of this movie. Stu Macher is dead. He's dead. He was never alive. He was supposed to be alive after when they did the rewrites to Scream 3, that there was going to be a cult of ghost faces and he was going to be the killer. And it's like, they didn't go that direction, obviously. So here we are. He's dead. Okay? We no longer revisit that. So the part that I was coming to about the ending of the movie was, maybe at the end of the movie while they're walking into the sunset, the movie's over, Sidney gets a phone call and it's like, it's still Stu. And I'm like, oh my God. So it really was Stu. He was alive. Like it'd be like giving some speech like, oh, you thought I wasn't real, but of course it's not AI, because this is all it was. It was just all AI. I would have loved that. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting to see some sort of mid-credit scene or end-credit scene, them walking off into the distance, and then, boom, the cell phone rings. You're like, And like, oh my god, it's still Stu. And like, no, we already killed it. And like I would have loved that. That would have really changed everything. Oh, screw the motive, screw the reveal. I didn't care. Like, if that would have happened, I would have been like 100%, 100%. But that didn't happen. That, how shocking it would have been once they revealed that and said, yes, he is alive. That's like, wow. Don't go into a movie theater for an anticipated movie and have high expectations, because you will be disappointed. It will not be exactly what you were expecting. So, but yeah, they do this whole thing with AI, and I've seen a lot of AI videos, and I'm sure all of you guys have as well too. It is so impressive. It is very impressive. I see a lot of stuff about Captain America or the Avengers against something in DC, or something with Deadpool against Darth Vader, things like that. And I'm just like, how awesome this is. Or RoboCop versus the Terminator or the Predator. And I'm just like, that's awesome. Imagine if we had a movie like that, or the continuation of the Snyderverse. I mean, how awesome would that be? And yet we see it through AI, and people are just, it's like saying, this is what we want, movie makers. This is what we want. We understand that, there's a lot of licenses and, ownerships with this certain character or that certain story. And, but off the topic here, the movie is going in an AI direction. And I love what they use with it. But like I said, Roger L. Jackson is the voice of Ghostface, and we rarely get him in this. Barely, maybe a phone call or two for a matter of seconds, and that's about it. The rest of it is practically Matthew Lillard being Ghostface through the screen. And all I'm thinking is, you're seeing Matthew Lillard in the screen. You're not really seeing him up front. It looks real. It looks like he's actually physically there. But of course, technology always takes place, and here we are having to believe that this is actually real. I loved when Scott Foley showed up. I loved when David Arquette showed up. Scott Foley is actually my favorite Ghostface. I love it because he's the only one, and I love that he was the director of the whole thing. But yeah, David Arquette showing up, that was great. I forgot her name, the killer from Scream 2. She pops up in here also. But yeah, she's in the Roseanne show. I keep forgetting her name. I'm so sorry. My apologies. But yeah, you see these, and you're just like, oh my god, is that person? Oh my god, is that person? It's just fun. It was fun. But I loved the AI. It was so cool. It was like what they did in Terminator Salvation. Not a good Terminator movie. But they did something similar to that, and that's what they did here. And I liked it. It really fit in with the movie. But like I said, the whole movie was great. I had a great time. Once when the killer killed this person and that person, and the ones that I thought that were actually the killers, which of course was the one that I actually suspected it to being the killer. Where is he at? I just saw him right now. Oh yes, Asa German, which plays the character Lucas Bowden. His eyes just look very killerish. He has a conversation with Courtney Cox's character, Gail Weathers, and she already suspects that he looks serial killerish. He looked like he would be the one unmasked at the end, revealing his motive. But it wasn't him. When he goes into the kitchen and he says, "Hey, I got this. I'm gonna get Ghostface," and he comes back out, he's already stabbed, and you're like, "We didn't see him get stabbed." Like, no, this could be fake. And as soon as he landed on the ground and he was bleeding, I'm like, that's fake. That's fake. Billy Loomis did that in the first movie. You did the same thing. We didn't see you get stabbed, and we didn't see you get killed. Obviously, you're the killer. But no. Once when he kills Celeste O'Connor, which plays the character Chloe Parker, she gets killed. Here it comes. I thought it was going to reveal, saying that, they were partnering up together, but no. He grabs him, he picks him up, and he does what I think Michael Myers would do. He just picks him up and puts him in that beer keg thing or whatnot that has a sharp pointy end, puts it through his head, and you just see his eyeball like all crooked and stuff, and it's just poking right out, and he's just like, whoa! I was like, whoa, like that in the theaters. Like, honestly, I had people sitting next to me too. They're just they're just laughing and they're like, it's entertaining, it's fun. But yeah, I was like so shocked. I'm like, then who the killer could be then? Who is it? Then we get I didn't suspect the dad, Mark Joel McHale's character, to be the killer. I didn't suspect the character Robbie Rivers, played by Mark Consuelos, as a character. I didn't see that. They always pinpoint at the boyfriend being the killer, but I'm like, no, I don't think they would go down that route again. I was suspecting McKenna Grace because she's a big name right now, and her being in the movie very minimally, she was actually the first kill after the killing opening killings. She was the first one to get killed, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like I said earlier, it's like Sarah Michelle Gellar in Scream 2. You know, you're only in there for a matter of minutes, and then boom, done, you're dead. So honestly, I thought that her being a big name, I thought that she was gonna be the killer at the end. But then when she got killed off, not Freddy. Yeah, in a way, Freddy or Jason Wise, you know, she's just swinging on the strings, and there's Ghostface. He just picks up his knife and slits open, and guts coming out and everything. I'm just like, whoa, we've never seen that before. That is crazy. But yeah, no, it wasn't her. I'm like, well, she dead. She ain't alive anymore. That's it. But yeah, then we get introduced to, where is it? Which was Lucas's mom, played by, where are you? There you are. Anna Camp, who plays the character Jessica Bowden, is the mom of Lucas, the one I thought was a killer. She's the killer. What? When she popped up, I'm just like, yeah, there's something going on with this lady, because, yeah, she only pops up like 2 times in the movie. And I'm just like, and I thought to myself, so who else is left? And I'm like, that lady has not shown up in a good long while. She has not shown up. Most likely she's going to be the killer. When we were, of course, there's 2 killers. There's always 2 killers. If not 2, there's 3. Well, as a matter of fact, there were 3. There was one already. And I'm just like, there's got to be something. There's got to be something going on here. And when they revealed it, because the first killer gets popped up, he just makes a brief appearance for a matter of seconds, and then when because he has this time trying to go after Sydney and her daughter, and then all of a sudden there's a fight between him and his dad and the dad, and you know, and I'm just like thinking, usually Ghostface takes off and disappears after this, but no, he's still fighting them. And I'm like, something's gonna happen, and boom, Courtney Cox comes in, and that's when I started, you know, celebrating and rooting when we get Gooding and Savoy coming in also, which of course, like I said, their characters were, I didn't find them very necessary in this movie. But yeah, and then they unmasked, and it's just this random character. They're just like, who is this? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I saw him earlier, but, you know, there's no connection to me with this person. But yeah, we get Anna Camp, which is the actress who's pretty much in the Pitch Perfect movies. And of course, when this one came up, I didn't even know he was in the movie. I hadn't even seen him in a long time. I hate this guy. Not for him completely in general. You know, I'm like, it's highly unbelievable. Ethan Embry, who plays the character Marco, which is, of course, the other killer, which is the AI coordinator. He is the one who created these videos with Stu Mockers and Roman Bridges and David Arquette's videos, the AI versions. You know, he's the one. I didn't like his motive either. But anyways, I'm just like, this guy, man. The only place I remember him from was the movie Can't Hardly Wait, the teenage flick back in the 90s, who ends up with Jennifer Love Hewitt. He's the guy with the letter. And I'm just like, this dude got ugly, dude. I'm like, he looks ugly bald. He looks ugly old. I didn't even like him when he was he wasn't even a teenager, but in that movie. And I'm just like, I don't like this guy. I'm like, Jennifer Love Hewitt, really? I don't see it. So yeah, and I see this guy's like, you're the fool from that movie. And I was like, I haven't seen you in like 25, 26 years. And what the heck are you doing here? And yeah, it appears to be the killer. Why in the world is it that Anna Camp and Ethan Embry are teamed up together to being in this? I honestly didn't understand the motive. Something about Sidney's book from the fourth movie, Out of Darkness, and I'm just like, I don't get it. And like, and you're telling me that you went ahead and killed your son because he happened to be more like his father than you? I'm like, that's dumb. Like, I didn't get it. I didn't like the motive. It was silly. It was stupid. And of course, the opening killings, we had Jimmy Tatro and Michelle Randolph. You know, these two. You know, of course, it was in the trailer. All of it was pretty much spoiled in that trailer, giving us, you know, and of course, this Ghostface setting the whole Stu Macher house on fire. You know, you thought it was going to be a big thing. It's something that they had marketed with the movie, stating that this is what the story is all about. When it was just only the opening killings of the film. But yeah, it was. Like I said, the reveal and the motives are what really killed it for me. I enjoyed the movie, I really did. But then once when they brought in, we have one Ghostface, and then it's like there can't be just one Ghostface. They're like there's a Ghostface here, but yet there's another Ghostface over here. I'm like, yeah, there's two. But like I said, there's two, but there's actually three. You know, the third one got killed off in the middle of the film, which is a patient from a mental hospital. That's why we get that only scene with Ethan Embry, who explains that, oh yeah, that Stu Macher guy, he was a patient here, and it's like, so he's alive then? Like they fooled us, but they only had him in there for the reason of just keeping the mystery alive that he could probably still be alive, but no. And of course he even introduces the second killer, which is Anna Camp's character before she's revealed, saying that, oh hey, it's Stu walking in the Ghostface mask, it's him, and then it becomes Anna Camp, and he's like, oh. I'm like, no, I knew it. I even said it out loud. I knew it. You haven't shown up practically throughout the entire movie, and I knew it was you. I knew it. But yeah, that's pretty much. That's pretty much. Oh yeah, and then of course the dad, Mark Evans, Joel McHale's character. Of course, he has a scene where he looks like he gets killed off, but then when they show that he's still alive, I'm like, ugh, I hate when you guys do this cheap writing. If you're gonna give this character several minutes of him walking in a dark, creepy section of the house and gets killed off at the end, keep him dead. Stop leaving them alive. It just is very unrealistic, and it's getting old. I don't like it. You know, at least Halloween, the 2018 movie, had the guts to kill off the dad. You know, very brutally, in fact. But yeah, this movie, like I said earlier, 51%. I enjoyed the majority of it, but just that last quarter of the film really. It didn't really get me. I didn't really like it. I didn't like the ending. I was like, and then of course they're doing something about Gale Weathers' character passing the torch over to, of course, all of a sudden for no apparent reason, Mason Gooding being the cameraman and Jasmine Savoy Brown being the she's like an intern and learning the ropes of Gale Weathers. Which, where was the interest of that in the last two films? Yeah, I just didn't really get that. You know, they just weren't necessary. They were just, because we were in other movies, we're going to be in this one too. But yeah, and then of course, even Gale Weathers she wasn't even part of the final act. She was just there to, probably have that interview with Sidney, and then having that whole thing between, the Meeks siblings, and that's about it. There was no point. I think that her character, Gale Weathers, should have gotten killed off in the last film, in the sixth movie in New York. They mentioned New York a lot, saying how much Sidney should have been a part of that movie when it was happening. But of course, she was just thinking of her family beforehand, and that's what she did. That was the explanation. And apparently that was not the best excuse for her to not appear in that film. Of course, it always has to deal with money. But yeah, I am finished here, everybody. That is the spoiler discussion about this movie of Scream 7, one of my anticipated films of 2026, everybody. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns, please feel free to leave it down in the comment section on the bottom, and let's have an awesome time talking about this movie or any movies that you'd like to talk about in general, because I love to talk about movies, but most importantly, I love to talk about them with you. And don't forget that you could check out some more of my videos on YouTube. Just look me up at Awesome Joe Movie Reviews. And don't forget to click on that like and subscribe button there, you guys. I really do appreciate everybody doing that for me. And if you're looking forward to more videos coming up, just click on that notification bell so that way you guys are well known that they're coming. So, anyways, you guys, I'm Awesome Joe. Keep on living the dream, and as always, stay awesome. Thanks, you guys, once more again, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Bye.